Unfortunately, I don't really know how to use my Elgato that well, so I don't really do screen captures, so you're just going to have to bear with me. So, as you know, Tesla has just unveiled their Roadster. And the Roadster has, what is it? A battery capable of doing 630 miles range, goes 0 to 60 in 1.9 seconds, and can do the quarter mile in about 8.9 seconds, which is probably going to be better than that if people change the tires up to like drag radials or something. And the only thing I would like to see is Tesla make one that's capable of 300 miles per hour, since this one's capable of 250, and make it so that the car can actually drive itself at 300 miles per hour. That would be really cool, especially if they could keep the price tag under $300,000. But considering what they're doing for $200,000, when neither McLaren, Lamborghini, or Bugatti themselves can give you anything remotely that powerful or fast. They're saying that the torque that this thing puts out is like 10,000 freaking foot-pounds, which I absolutely believe because, as you know, because of instantaneous torque, these cars are extremely fast. So as you may remember, I've made a number of videos. As you can see, you can look them up on YouTube. See, the problem is the video manager that I have, it's like you actually got to search through stuff like by typing my name and all that. But you'll see the videos I made of ludicrous mode and the Tesla P90D. You'll see the video I made of the P85D. That video got 579,000 views. I made some good money off that video. The first video that I did makes me think back to when I started with the company. And basically I came and I test drove the car and I liked it so much I was offered a chance to buy into the stock with a couple of other people. It's funny because when I really think about it, that mall that I went to in order to do this, Roosevelt Field Mall, when I first drove it, that store doesn't exist there anymore because what happened was right next door, the Turnio watch store got broken into, and apparently people didn't like having to come into the mall anymore, so Tesla left that mall and they moved to Syosset. And then they left again and they moved from the Syosset location because the Syosset location was kind of like a truck stop, right? But anyway, when I bought into the stock, one of the reasons why I felt that Tesla would succeed was simply because the Model S was a large car, a large, spacious car that would fit the average American family. And that brings me to what I wanted to say about the Roadster. Simultaneously, I believe that the Roadster is everything that's right about Tesla's technology, but it's also simultaneously everything that's wrong with it. This thing is $200,000 when it reaches the dealer lots. All right, I don't know if I should say the word dealer because they're not dealers. They don't make any deals. They just sell you the car. But $200,000 is like 98% more than 98 bottom percent of America is able to even pay for this thing. So this is a car that's pretty much unaffordable by anybody who doesn't normally shop for Lamborghinis and Ferraris, which is pretty much the vast majority of us. You know, when I first drove this car, I drove the P85, and then they also, at that time, they had a 40 kilowatt version, and they discontinued that version. When I first heard about supercharging, and they were talking about, oh yeah, we're going to have superchargers with solar panels and shit everywhere, and I was like, wow, that sounds like that would really work. And the reason why I like Tesla so much, back then there was also the Fisker Karma, which I also drove. The problem with the Fisker Karma was it was too goddamn small. It was a really large car physically, but inside it was horribly cramped, and it was like getting into the Aston Martin Rapide. A four-door, cramped-ass sports car, which was absolutely fucking stupid. It's like, who did they think they were trying to sell these things to? A bunch of, like, 5-foot-tall Europeans? But anyway, when I first drove the P85, and I was enticed to buy into the stock, and back then it was like $30. This was 2012. And, you know, I had so many people telling me, oh, yeah, you should sell it, when it was like only $280. And I was like, yo, I hold on to my stock for the long term. I knew I was going to hit 300. I had no idea how high over 300 we were going to go. 380, I feel Tesla has the ability to crack 400. I mean, for God's sakes, Walmart saw the new Tesla semi-truck that they're building, and they already ordered 15 trucks, and those things are probably $1 million+ a piece. But I believed that Tesla was going to be affordable for the average American. That's what I believed, and that's the reason why I invested. Unfortunately, later on, it was like they flipped the script entirely. It was like they canceled the 40 kilowatt version hour. All of the prices shot up to the $70,000 range. And then on top of that, it was like, you know, it was like even with the Model 3, it was like I thought the Model 3, when they first announced it, I figured there was no way they'd ever meet their the demand. I figured that was going to happen. And I also figured there was no way you'd ever leave a dealer lot with anything less than $50,000 spent, considering how high the demand was, and the market adjusted price goes up, and then they try to get more money for it. So, you know, there's some people getting their Model 3s already. But the thing about it is, my dealers around here don't have them yet. And, you know, I can't wait to see it in person. But what I'm not interested in is a small car. I don't want a small car. I don't want a small car like the Roadster. What I want is a car the size of the Model S that is practical. And what I really think Tesla needs to do is they need to stop focusing on these small cars. Like, these cars are basically nothing more than advertisements to keep their name in the news. Because every single time somebody goes out in one of these cars and shows you autonomous mode or shows you how fast it is, all they're doing is they're keeping their name in the news in order to keep their stock going up. It's like why companies like Amazon talk about drone deliveries and shit, when that's most likely not going to happen here, because these crazy-ass Americans with shotguns and rifles, they'll shoot those fucking things down, and they'll steal all those lovely pills out of them so that they can get high on opioids. What I'm trying to say is that Tesla needs to go in the opposite direction. The Model X is big, but the problem is a lot of people don't like the doors, the gull-wing doors. And the gull-wing doors basically are the car. But the problem is a lot of people don't want that. And a lot of people, you know, some people have expressed problems with the doors, like letting water get in. And some people have expressed problems with the pinch sensors and this, that, and other. I really feel that what Tesla really should do is they should build a Model S larger so that it can fit more batteries in it and get a 600-mile range just like this Roadster can under regular driving. And then what they should do is they should make the interiors better, because these flat, hard interiors, these things are horrible, these flat, hard interiors. It's like they're just so flat and hard. I mean, it's flat and hard. I don't know how to better say it than that. It's flat, it's freaking hard. And I want more cushiness. I like the fact that they have, what is it called, you know, heated, cooled seats, but I want some cushiness. I want it to feel like when I get in there, I mean, the thing's $150,000. It's $40,000 more than an S-Class. As far as I'm concerned, if you can get an S-Class 450 less than $100,000, it's like you should be able to get something like this with a decent interior that's not hard and flat for the same $100,000. This isn't as comfortable as an Audi A7, and I really think that that's what they have to focus on. They've increased the power, they've increased the range, but really, you guys got to get better seats, even if you have to outsource your seats. If I were you, I'd get Mercedes or BMW seats, and I'd just slap the Tesla logo on them, and the vast majority of people would never even notice. But the point is, it's like these things need to be more comfortable. I am not comfortable driving Model S's or Model X's. At first, the Model X is not so bad, but the little bit longer that you stay in it, it's not good for my like lower back. And also, it just, inside, it kind of gets boring. But, you know, it's like, I would love to see them, you know, increase their interior, just make it just make it softer, make it better. I mean, you could even put in massage seats. I mean, the average luxury car you buy now has stuff like that. But my problem is these things are not affordable for the average American. I thought the whole point of Tesla was to create affordable electric cars. These things are not affordable unless you're normally shopping for cars in the $70,000 range. The vast majority of Americans are not normally shopping for cars in the $70,000 range. The Model 3 is supposed to be the affordable one. But the problem is, then you get into the fact that most Americans don't have the infrastructure necessary to support one of these things. The average person doesn't have a house anymore or a garage to charge one of these things. The average person. And when you look at the next generation, Generation Z, the vast majority of them aren't going to be able to afford one of these cars. And unless you have charging systems for them at their jobs and everywhere they go, like movie theaters, malls, shopping centers, Walmart, etc., unless you have these electric charging ports set up for them, they're not going to be able to afford this. And the whole point of Tesla was to create affordable electric cars. And and it seems to me that $200,000 ain't freaking affordable. $150,000 for a ludicrous mode ain't freaking affordable. $70,000 for a base model, that's not affordable. What the American public is looking for is they're looking for a Model S that comes with navigation, moonroof, and a decent interior for about $50,000 to $60,000, possibly $50,000. Now, I understand that they want to keep up this luxury design and all that, but the thing about it is the vast majority of the buyers of these cars are leasing them, and they're not even keeping these things. Like, I've seen some of these cars being traded back in with less than 7,000 miles. And these people are trading these things and swapping their leases out. And you have to wonder why. Now, they're doing a slam job, like keeping you from actually being able to talk to the news about the problems you're having with them. Because it's like, God forbid you come out and say something about the car, they attack you immediately. They're like Apple. And it's like they hold a gun to your head and they basically make you say that shit wasn't true. Now, as far as I'm concerned, it's like, listen, if that's how you want to handle customer service and if that's how you want to handle it, well, that's on you. But my only thing is, this is not a profitable business model. And as you know, right now, Tesla is not profitable. Like, Walmart has taken orders for these trucks, and that's good. That, that'll help with the environment, keeping it a little bit smog-free. And I'm pretty sure countries like China and India are going to jump on this. But the other problem is countries like China and India, they're going to compete with Tesla, and they're going to build their own cars slightly differently, and they're going to be selling their own cars to compete with these cars. So the problem is, it's like, how profitable is it if you don't have the average American able to afford one of these things? The average American is not beating down your doors trying to get even into the Model 3. The average American is not trying to buy an electric car that doesn't have a gasoline backup because of range anxiety. Now, if the infrastructure was better and they had the ability to charge at home, at work, at wherever they go, that might change things a little bit better. I'm pretty sure sales would pick up then. But then you've got to deal with these abnormal trade deals where you've got countries like China and India able to sell Tata Motors cars here and China able to sell their cars here. When they decide to build one of these things, like the one that I saw at the car show, I can't even remember what that shit was called, but when they decide to compete with Tesla, all they have to do is build a spacious car that gets a decent range and doesn't cost a fucking $100,000 or $200,000. And they'll end up with the same exact product. The only difference is, because it's China and because it's India and because they have basically slave labor, considering how cheap the labor there is, dealing with the fact that they have over 1 billion people, now you're going to end up with a situation where they're going to be paying their workers a hell of a lot less, and their prices are going to be way more competitive with Tesla's prices. So I have to wonder, well, what's going to happen? What's going to happen then? I mean, how are you going to keep that business model moving forward if you have to worry about these people catching up, and then right now you're not profitable, which is amazing considering, yes, we've gone past $350 per share, but you're not profitable. And if not for, and I've heard a number of people say it, and I see a lot of these people saying it on the message boards, if not for the government subsidies, Tesla would have probably gone bankrupt already. Because, simply put, there aren't enough rich people buying into these things in order to keep them afloat. This is not like Lamborghini and not like Porsche, where they were bought by another company that was much, much larger, like Volkswagen Group. This is a situation where these things are supposed to be, for the average American, supposed to be expensive, but they're not supposed to be so expensive that the average American can't buy them. But without the government subsidies that they've gotten up until now, there's no way that this business model could have survived. So I guess when people keep telling me to sell my stock, I guess this is what they're talking about. It's the simple fact of the matter that right now it's not profitable, and it shows no sign of being profitable for the long term. So that's all I wanted to say. But as for this Roadster, I saw a video and they were showing how fast this thing accelerates. There's a guy who has a video, David Ricci, which I'm not going to play here because I don't want the fucking copyright violations, but you can watch his video later. But the thing about it is this thing is really, 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 really fast. Yeah, that's cool. It competes with Lambos. It competes with McLarens. It definitely fucking competes with Bugatti because they can't get no 9-second quarter mile out of their car, nor can they do it without using gas, which is actually pretty amazing when you think about it. But the issue is it's too goddamn small, and it costs way too goddamn much. I don't need one of these cars to do 0 to 60 in 2 seconds. What I need it to do is save me money. That's the whole point of an electric car. I need it to save me money, and I need it to, you know, help the environment and whatever. But at this point, from what I'm seeing, it's just like, you know, it reminds me of companies like Maserati. It's like the average person's not trying to buy one. Yeah, they're going to get some sales every single year, but the average person's not trying to buy one. And these cars are in no way profitable, you know. And I guess I'm holding my shares as long as I can, but if it dips below 300, I'm selling that shit like immediately, because you know, you don't even know where the low, you don't know where the high is, you don't know where the low is. It's kind of like Bitcoin, and Bitcoin just hit like $8,000 for a couple of minutes, went back down to 7,800. But you know, you just really don't know. And then you're dealing with these other foreign countries coming into the fray, and not only don't you know, but now that problem is compounded by the fact that there are variables that you cannot account for. So all I can do is just, hold on and put my sell all order in for like $300 per share and hope that, that it doesn't crash. But if it does, I gotta sell this shit. So that's basically what my thoughts are. But yes, I mean, it's amazing that they've been able to come this far. It's amazing that they went from the P85 to making a car that is basically faster than $2.9 million cars like the Chiron and the Koenig shit and the Hennessy F5 or whatever. Yeah, that's amazing. And then they're doing it in a way where you can recharge this son of a bitch in your backyard. That's pretty goddamn cool, that you could run an extension cord out of your house and recharge the thing. Or you could do it in your garage. That's pretty cool. But, I just worry. That's the problem. I worry about my money. Like, I don't want to lose money out of my shares and all that. I don't want to. I can't lose. I mean, I bought it at $30. My only thing is I don't want it to drop. I want that shit to stay as high as possible. In fact, I want it to go higher. But, it's hard to concentrate when you have to worry that that you could lose money real quickly just because, foreign companies and all that. So that's all I was just thinking. But, any comments, you're obviously going to just add them in. And of course I'm rambling, but I have a million thoughts going through my head. And right now it's 6:47, so I'm getting ready to go to the Mopar takeover.